Hello to those listening. This is an orator here with the freest of speech. And this time, I'd like to talk about why Donald Trump is winning. Because it seems that the political figureheads and the political pundits don't seem to be able to put it together. Well, I'm going to let the man speak for himself, and then I'm going to come behind him with some other additional information for why I think he's winning.
I think that a great form could be, and I love the free market. I love the way it works, but we never had a free market. Even before Obamacare, it wasn't really free market. As an example,
So let's get started with healthcare. Now, I'm going to go to the actual healthcare law itself, the Affordable Care Act, in H.R. 4872-25. If we come into this part of the law and we scroll down to around in subsection B, and I'm going to read the part that, well, is important to this, is important to what's being said here. And let's begin with the subsection C. Furnishing on or after July 1st, 2013 and before July 1st, 2015, that is attributable to the amount by which the minimal payment rate required under such sections or by application of section 1932F extends the payment rate applicable applicable to such services under the state plan as of July 1st, 2009. The federal medical assistance percentages for a state that is one of the 50 or the District of Columbia shall be equal to 100%. Now I'm stopping there because it's as Donald Trump said that we don't have a free market healthcare system. It's specifically stated in the law here that payments from the federal government go to individual states. In other words, the individual state will have to put together their own health insurance system. Free market health insurance means you will be able to buy health insurance from anywhere in the country. So, on that point, Donald Trump is right. We don't have free market health care, and he wants to bring free market health care. Let's go on to another point that he makes, and it's about the ban on Muslims.
Our people can do something about these horrible people that want to do damage to our country, real damage to our country, then I think it should stay in place. But it's temporary until we can figure that out.
But you have all.
Now, this Fox poll here going down, it says a new Fox poll finds 50% of voters favor Trump's ban, while 46% are opposed. However, when Trump's name is removed from the question, supporters for the plan goes up 5 points. The opposition goes down 6. 55% favor the unnamed proposal, while 40% opposes it. Again, while regular media and even Republicans and Democrats say, whoa, this is racist and blah, 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 and whatever shenanigans they want to throw at them, Republicans, the majority actually support it. 55% is 55% without him. But even if you put his name on there, you're still looking at 50. That's half. And if you take into account that 46% oppose it, he has the majority. Again, it seems that Donald Trump is talking to the people, not the pundits. Let's continue on with more polling data. Now, this is from the Huffington Post, and their polling data, if you break it down real simple, it has YouGov, CBS, NBC, Bloomberg. You would say the more Democratic polling, it would see says support amongst Americans you have, okay, I'm going to have to read all this, so bear with me for a second. Question: do you agree or disagree that there should be a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what's going on? This is from YouGov. Now, it says amongst Americans, 45% support, and amongst Republicans, 69%. Sounds like Trump's on the right side of Sound like Trump's on the right side there when it comes to Republicans. Let's go to the CBS. Do you think the U.S. should temporarily ban Muslims from other countries from entering the United States or not? Amongst Americans, 32%. Amongst Republicans, 54%. Again, a sound majority agreeing with Donald Trump. NBC slash WSJ. Here we go. Recently, Donald Trump has called for a total and complete shutdown for any Muslim being allowed to enter the United States. Do you favor or oppose this proposal, or do you have an opinion one way or the other? Now, amongst Americans, 25%. Amongst Republicans, 42%. Another poll where 42% of Republicans may not be the majority. But if we're talking about primary season where they don't have access to the full number of Republicans and only the true diehards come, 42% amongst a field of four still dominates. So that's good percentages. Trump's on the right side again. Now let's check out the Bloomberg Politico Purple Strategist. This week, Donald Trump calls for a temporary ban on Muslims who are citizens or foreign countries from entering the United States. Do you favor or oppose this proposal? Amongst Americans, 37%. Amongst Republicans, 65%. There you go again. Donald Trump is winning support amongst Republicans. Another reason why he's winning. Something that I don't understand the pundits can't seem to put together. Now let's go on to another Donald Trump point. And it comes down to China and foreign trade.
This is what he posted to Instagram earlier today.
I've been telling everybody for a long time, China's taking our jobs, they're taking our money. Be careful, they'll bring us down. You have to know what you're doing. We have nobody that has a clue.
Now, I went to the Gallup poll to just show an overview of how you say Americans in general see China. And as you can see by looking at this graph, the unfavorables are at 52, favorables at 44. Now, I want to go on to the trade itself and why those numbers make sense. If you look at this U.S. goods trade with China, when you keep looking at the balances, you keep seeing negatives. See negative, negative, negative in February through March 2015, all negatives. You go into 2014, all negatives. You go into 2013, all negatives. You go into 2012, all negatives. I don't think I need to continue here. So when Donald Trump says things that like China is taking advantage of us, when you look at the numbers, he's right. It's a fact that China had to admit to, and even President Obama has said before, that currency manipulation is something that China has done. There is no penalty to it. Currency manipulation is why our balance is so negative. So when Donald Trump speaks on China and he speaks about this, guess what? He's actually right. And he is on the side of those who say, if we're going to have a trade agreement, we need to come out on top because we're Americans. If we have a trade deficit and it's not and it's against us, we're losing. We are not benefiting. It's a bad deal.
Well, Mexico treats us as though we are stupid people, which of course our leaders are. I don't blame Mexico. China's even worse.
But how do you force a country to build a wall?
You force them because we give Mexico a fortune. Mexico makes a fortune because of us. A wall.
And now I'm going to go on to Donald Trump and his building a wall thing. Now, Most people, when you hear them speak, they talk about how it's impossible to get them to pay for it. It's going to cost a lot of money and all that other good, beautiful political punditry that they get paid for. But let's dig down into these numbers. And we're going to go over to this Ramsey report and public site. No, voters want to build a wall, deport felons and immigrants. You see, make a difference what your political leaning is or your ideology. If you're in a different country and you're a criminal, they're going to say kick them out, no matter where you go in the world. That's just what's going to happen. But I'm going to break. I want to get into a part right here. I'm going to read it. Among all likely voters, 51% favor building a wall on the border. 37% disagree. 12% are not sure. 80% support the deportation of an illegal immigrant convicted of a felon. Only 11% opposed. There we go. Just like with the other sections that I've been talking about, again, 51% favors building a wall. Donald Trump's on the right side. 80%, like I said before, no matter where you go in the world, you're always going to have the vast majority saying deport people who commit crimes against our country or crimes in our country. So, what we have here is a grand example for why Donald Trump is winning. The political pundits all talk about how they don't understand how he's winning. They say this is some kind of fluke, that people have become tired of politics. And you know what? That is true. People have become tired of politics. I mean, the presidential, matter of fact, before Barack Obama was sworn back in, news was already talking about who's the next president. This political campaign for president has been going on so goddamn long, it makes everybody's head hurt. Why? Because the same political class that can't understand why Donald Trump is winning, and as we've seen from the few of the points I've taken from here and looked through data, that Donald Trump is kind of on the right side for Republicans, and he is running as a Republican. These people who get paid for being able to know this, who get paid for being able to do what I've just done, can't seem to put together that Donald Trump has support for things in the Republican Party because Republican voters support it, and in some cases, non-Republicans support it. When it comes to trade, anybody looking at that deficit data will say, hey, this is a bad deal. When it comes to polling about banning Muslims, even though the higher numbers may be amongst Republicans, you still have things like 45%, 36%, 25%, 37% of Americans. You take the Republicans out, you still have people who say this isn't right. We don't want this. When you look at the federal law for the Affordable Care Act, it specifically states things that under states' plans, meaning there is no free market. You do not cross borders. You are locked in your state, and your state plan must be done. Donald Trump is right on certain issues. He can be wrong on certain issues. I can sit here and say that Donald Trump building that wall will take millions of dollars, like I said before. Getting Mexico to pay for it, the president of Mexico flat out said it ain't fucking happening. But this is not what my video is about. This is about why Donald Trump is winning. And I'm sharing this information because the people whose job it is to share with you aren't. They have their own little box and they want things to be in the way that they want them to be. And because it's not, They don't understand what's happening. Correction. They choose not to understand what's happening. This was an auditor here with the freeze of speech. Thanks for listening.